4, 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome to the Galactic Seabass channel. Knew what song that was? You are a real one. Hi, I'm Sebastian, your host now, forever, and always. Thanks for tuning in today to episode 75 of the Galactic Seabass Podcast. Thank you so much for being here today for this special. Do we have a guest? Nope. However, we do have my furry friends, Andy and Ollie, who are in the premises. They've had a week of their own, and we will be talking about them later. That is a plan overhead. Cheers, everybody. There's coffee in the cup today. Woo! Excuse me. Rock and roll. I'm trying to do like a little mini sober October. Haven't had a drink in like 4 or 5 days. Feels level-headed. I'm sharp. Feeling ready to go. I was supposed to give up weed and tobacco at the same time. That did not go as planned. However, we are here. We are alive. We're doing this today. Is Sunday, October 6th. This podcast is supposed to be on Thursdays, and it hasn't been on a Thursday in maybe a month and a half. We will eventually get back on that line. I thank you very much for being here today. I don't know if my laptop is going to cooperate with me today, so we'll see if we can tune into the live feed. Appreciate you for tuning in. First time here, thanks for watching. Welcome to the Galactic Seabass Podcast, where I ramble in my kitchen for about an hour or so. And I really appreciate you tuning in today. Rock and roll. Let's go ahead and do this bad boy. We prepared a little bit of a fiasco, shenanigan, hooligan bill, nitus, trying to get down with the program. What am I? I'm just talking in nonsense jingle jargon. But I appreciate you being here. Is another plane? Oh, doing a lot of cheers today. Woo! Going to be flowing with caffeine by the end of this episode, and that is without a doubt. Let's go ahead and test out this live thingamajiggy. Rock and roll, episode 75. Holy cow, ladies and gentlemen. What a wonderful world that we find ourselves in today. Today's 2024. That would be the year. It's not really today. And the top is not going to coordinate. However, that's okay. We'll see what. Hey, nope, no way. Oh, hey, we're in. Oh, we're in. We're clicking buttons and stuff. We'll see if it randomly turns off at some point. I don't even. Microphone is not plugged in. Okay. Yeah, it was a pretty hectic little week. Last week we had a couple shows go down over at the Yellow Door, and I acted a fool after. I really appreciate all the comics who help support what I do as far as like my photography business goes, and I got into a little bit of a little word rabble with another dude, and I said some things that I shouldn't have said, so I spent some of today writing an apology letter, which is, it is what it is. I feel bad about what I said, so I just want to let him know that I'm sorry. He was a good dude. Just, sometimes, you don't click with people. It's like Oreos and cranberry juice. Just doesn't always work, How did I not write that down? Oh, I did write that down. Alright, cool. Just pulled up the little movie. I got a lot of movies in this week, so this is mostly going to be a movie review episode. Once we get into it, we will talk about the week. It's pretty crazy. That's pretty much going to be the subject of today. The week, today, and movies. Alright, let's go ahead and see if we can get into this bad boy. If you're watching and you would like to participate, go ahead and comment something in that chat box. If you would like to do something, maybe tell me a story or ask for some advice, send me an email to galacticseabass@gmail.com. I will go ahead and read those on the air. Anonymity is totally okay if that's what you prefer. I've never had anybody email me. I'm 75 episodes in. I was really hoping somebody would just get a crazy story. I feel like it's bound to happen one of these days. Maybe lower the light a little bit. I just want to tune into my thing. I should just go to my channel. It'd be a lot faster. Wants to use my microphone. Whoa, what are you doing? Ah, leave me alone. That's the wrong microphone. You're using this microphone. This is so stupid. Oh, man. Let's see. Let's just go ahead and get into today. So my sleep schedule is really thwacked. No idea what's going on with that one, honestly. Just kind of have been falling asleep and waking up and getting to it, and falling asleep and waking up and getting to it. What time that lies in is up to the universe at that point. So, yeah, like, that's just one of those things. Today we woke up at probably like, we were supposed to go work last night at 9:30. Talked to my mom, and then I passed out, and I woke up at midnight, and I said nope, and then I woke up at 2. And when I finally got up that time, I really would have taken my dog for a walk on the previous wake up, because when I walked out to my kitchen, it was covered in feces. Like, not the cabinets and the dishes, thank goodness, but the floor was coated in a big circle of mayhem. And that was definitely something to wake up to. You know, you can't get upset. It's, you know, a being, and it poops. So sometimes you have to pick up that poop, you know, play it where the pieces lie. And there was a lot of pieces. And so we got that all cleaned up. It's 2:30 in the morning, and then I need to shower, get ready. So I go take a shower. I come back out. The dog has pooped again. There's poop all over the kitchen again. Why he poops in the kitchen, I don't know. I'm trying his best to be out of the way. I appreciate it. It's not a carpet, thankfully, so I had to clean it twice. Got it all soaped up and clean, and then I knit up all night so I can go to the laundromat when they open. That's about 7 a.m. So now we go back to work. We're working all night, 4 to 6, no tips. That was awful. Made a little, and got back to the house, got the regular laundry, got the poop laundry, got it all bagged up. I gloved my hands and double bagged it, made sure it was all clean. Car ride with the windows all the way down. I just put it in the washer and kind of like unloaded it that way. There was no way I was digging my hands into this bag and letting it transfer over the top of the thing, and perhaps letting a little piece just where the washing machine would never clean it. And that was disgusting. So got that done. Finally, the laundry's done. Folded all the laundry somehow. Went back to work. Made a bunch of money. Got back to work. I feel like I did something else just now. I'm totally spacing on it. It would have been in the last 2 hours. How I can't remember. This is beyond. Come on, brain. What? I don't know. I just worked a bunch. I got work brain right now. And so now the potential plan is to drive up to Los Angeles or set up the night over at the Comedy Store. That is totally within the realm of possibilities right now. I could even be the driver and get the boys to help me with money. It was their offer. My mom had a really good conversation with me about needs versus wants. Been working since 4 in the morning, and I really want to do comedy. I have a really cool suit on right now. I look good. Feel suave. Feel dapper and handsome. Cheers to everybody. I don't know. Could be the night we get pulled. Be fun. Never got pulled for that show before. I've never done a Sunday show at the Comedy Store. So, really no. I could be set 568. Speaking of fun numbers, as far as Ubers go, we gave rides 6,660 today. Uber across the street, which is pretty fun. And that was neat, yeah. So we're 6 away from ride 6,666. The Omen ride. And yeah, who knows when that will come into play. I've been doing this job over 7 years. Took a 3-year break, so it's more like 4. But still, it's a lot of people to get in and out of my car. And met a whole bunch of cool ones today. Any tips for 5 rides, and a guy gave me $40. And I went, heck yeah. I think I even told him the story of a guy showing me 40 on his phone and then not hitting the button just to show off for his friends. If you show off for your friends, just go jump off a cliff, because nobody needs that. Just tip adequately. It's a service job. Drivers make 35% of whatever you pay. Just leave it like $1 or $2 or $3 or $4 or $5 or $50 or $70. really doesn't matter. A little bit goes a long, and drivers are super appreciative. And as a driver, I believe I'm allowed to speak for most of them because we don't make any money doing that job realistically. Put most of the money into main gas and then keep a little bit on top, and then that just kind of, it's a reoccurring cycle that is not for the faint of heart. It's pretty spooky. Speaking of spooky, we're here in October, baby. Happy October. Official spooky season. So we're ready to get partying. We got old Mr. Rogers over here chilling. And we got this other guy. I had to put it upside down for the eyeballs to work. It's not really sitting as I would have hoped. They're slouchy right now. That's okay though. Maybe I'm slouchy too. Let's all take a moment to work on our posture wherever we are. If I sit like this, I know it's going to cut my head out of the frame, but that's okay. It's worth it to know that I'm upright and thinking about my future self and my sciatica. Oh yeah. I'd like a platter of sciatica. Hold the batter. That way less than I thought it would. I'm so sorry for that. That was atrocious. To go though. This note just says, be a good person even if you fuck up. And so that's my one swear word for the episode. I mean it. We all make mistakes, and you know, that's part of the human experience. Do what you can to rectify them and go ahead and move on with your life. Because time isn't going to stop for anybody, and you can regret things all you want. I still have regret that Green Day show. But you know what? It is what it is. And life goes on. You got to keep on rolling with the train tracks. I can't really imagine this episode going too far, even like maybe past the minute mark, because I just have a couple things I need to get done today. Just played catch in my video, and old Andy Pants here got himself into a little scuffle the other day, and I let him out for 2 days after the abscess finally cleaned up on his face, and he came back. He has a huge cut on his back and a lump and a cut on his side. And it's like, dude, can you stop fighting raccoons and tigers? My tiny little puma just keeps throwing himself into peril. Stay out of harm's way, little one. I love my little dude. He's just chilling on the fridge now, licking himself. My ex hated when he would just sit there and lick himself in direct eye contact. If you're watching a movie, he'd sit on the edge of the little cabinet and just make sure you could see all his junk, and he'd go to town on it. And I don't know why she got so offended by it. If I could do that, I would, but he's a cat, you know, you just gotta let him do cat things. Just like my dog is a dog. On the bed, because you've been pooping all over the floor, and I had to clean it twice, and that was a lot, and I love you. Gotta go on the bed. He's a good boy, but yeah, dude, the whole thing was I got a burrito super late 2 nights ago. Like, I think this is nights ago. I'm working. I stayed up all night till 7 a.m. to get my favorite breakfast burrito from Saguaro's Mexican food in North Park. I went there so much and got the same burrito. They gave me this cup. I know I've told this story about the cup before, but I straight up was just going to get my burrito like any other day. And this lady said, hold on, and went to the back and brought this thing out in a plastic bag and said, here, for your coffee. And it wasn't like a bag. It was like the nice little fresh wrapping paper on a new mug, and it says, thanks, we appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you too. Thank you for making the best breakfast burrito in San Diego at 375 30th Street, Saguaro's Mexican Food. You can call them at 619-291-7746. And yeah, it's the best bacon breakfast burrito, maybe, and I love it. I brought it home. I couldn't finish it, so there's a little bit of it sitting on my little, I fell asleep on the couch. I got my little couch side table. Don't know what to call that. It's a little table that's small, and whatever. Had the burrito on it. Whole bunch of salsa drizzled into this thing. I know it. Wake up in the morning, it's gone. Wrapping paper is right next to my sleeping dog, and I know, or I should say I have a strong suspicion that he ate it, because my cat will probably take a nibble at it and just be like, I have dry food over here I like. And yeah, dude, my dog, I thought we were good for the next day, and lo and behold, woke up to a kitchen covered in poop. And don't let dogs eat burritos. I think it was the pico de gallo. Pico de perro. If it was a cat, I could have said pico de gato. But that's okay because it's not a cat. Man, you are all cut up. Ah, they're just like me. My boys are just like me. Just pooping on the floor and getting all cut up. Well, you know what they say, like father, like son. I remember when I birthed them out of my butthole. That was a rough day. They're fraternal twins. They just got a 3-year. Man, sometimes I really wish I was funny. That's awesome. All right, so we're 15 minutes into this episode. That's pretty much it. We tried my best to pay these bills. They're piling up like crazy, and I'm doing what I can, working 12 hours a day, and then on top of that, just doing trying to get rid of whatever I can, trying to make ends meet. It's really tough to be a person all alone this year. Hey, Blaine, gee, rock and roll. But we're doing what we can. If you'd like to support the podcast or support, that basically just means if you'd like to support me, there's some links down. Would really help me out. Cashapp, Venmo, just my name. If you're listening to this, if you are listening to this audio, you gotta watch the YouTube video. I'm sorry. What am I saying? Rock and roll. Let's get into some movie reviews because we watched a lot. We ended up kind of going into like a little binge mode one of these days and watched like 6 movies in a day, which isn't healthy for most people, but find that to be a stress relief. I hadn't had a day off in weeks, and I was just gonna call it. I think that was like Monday. Just was not feeling it. Okay, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way, because I was kind of like half working on some stuff. Brawl in Cell Block 99 with Vince Vaughn was terrible. I did not like it. Basically, this dude goes to everything that happened in the movie seems like it did need to happen. That's basically my entire synopsis of the film. I don't like it. 2 out of 10. When that subsequently led to Mandy playing directly after that was available on Hulu, by the way. Mandy played right after, and I know I've watched that movie on mushrooms, and it was amazing. I wrote a 0, but I'll give it a 1 because I wasn't really paying that much attention. Yeah, I give it a 1. As far as like a regular person watching it, just like trying to follow on, it does not make sense. It's a lot of really just vibrant movement and color and not a whole lot of story. A lot of wiener though. As I was playing. We are not cheersing to that movie. However, we did see some cool Nicolas Cage stuff, so we'll get into that. Rewatch Ready Player One last night. That was pretty neat. I like it. The book is definitely better because there's so many aspects of the film they had to change. The big race is actually this really nerdy dungeon scene, doing like a Dungeons and Dragons mission on the home school planet, and Artemis was actually the first one to find the clue, just couldn't beat the game. Anyway, yeah, it was pretty fun. I liked it. Definitely, there's so many great references. Whoever put it together took the time to make sure whenever we're using these references, they did justice to them, and thought that was just really neat. And, excuse me, that guy who plays Nolan Sorrento, he's just so good at playing a bad guy. He was in The Dark Knight Rises. He's that guy who's like, you a small fortune. That's not how he sounds. I gave you a small fortune. And he's like, you think money gives you power over me? Tell me, do you feel in charge? And then that other guy just leaves the room, and they're like, John Daggett's body was found. Yeah, that was a pretty heavy scene. Really good bad guy actor. I like him a lot. I give that movie an 8 out of 10. That was fun. Would watch again. The Wild Robot, new movie from DreamWorks, came out. Wow. That was fire. Fire. Top to bottom, unbelievable. Great storytelling. Not a whole lot of dialogue for like the first little bit. And then, yeah, dude. Pretty cool. Only problem I had was like the ending, because I didn't really understand if like the duck went back to go say hi, or if it was like a dream, or also it just ended up being like a slave to the workforce. Like, it's still, at the end of the day, is there going to be like a second one where it breaks out and goes to live on the island? Like, they fixed it. It should just dip out and go live. I don't know. I still give it a 9 because it was fire. The way they portrayed the relationships between all the animals. Like, just a really cool take on the say Nature's Kingdom, the Animal Kingdom. There we go. That's cooler. And yeah, I liked it a lot. It's kind of like a really, really fascinating version of The Ugly Duckling. Yeah, 9 out of 10. We watched The Fog. Wow. That was pretty bad. It was super foggy out the other night, and I was like, should I watch The Mist or should I watch The Fog? I know how The Mist ends, and I hate that ending because it's not real. Go read the book, and you will understand what I mean. Now, The Fog, unbelievable how many times this woman just screws the pooch. Well, okay, so let's take one instance for example. Now, they're on the boat. Two dudes who are partying and the two chicks, they all get murdered. They go they bring the boat back. They find this camera. Immediately outside of the boat, they say, wow, I wonder if this has evidence that proves Scooter's innocent. And instead of just showing the cops right there, everybody's right there. They could just be like, hey, look, this is what, like, let's look through the footage together so that we know we're not doctoring anything. We just found this camera. The girl goes to this boathouse, this boat storage unit. And there's a wooden plank on the ground. There had to be another way to get to where she was sitting. But they don't show this part. She walk across this wooden plank, and then she's sitting, up on on the windowsill, doing this kind of thing, looking at the camera, and going over the footage, and then they show you the footage, and it's just the most 100% clear-cut piece of unfuckwithable evidence that he's innocent, and then she's like, oh wow, I gotta show somebody. And then she walks back across this plank and falls in the water with the camera. She just fell right in. And the camera's gone. And then the weeds are trying to kill her, like Final Destination style. But why did you go into this house to watch this movie? And then the amount of times afterwards where this lady just keeps on, like, just screwing up over and over. It got me to the point where I was actually irate by the end of the film. And the fact she didn't die is just tragic. So I give that a 4. And that's a stretch. I give it a 4 for everybody else in the film who tried to carry her double persona. Yeah, would not rewatch The Fog. That was trash. Message him on my laptop. Alright, you gotta let me know in the chat if we lost audio. Oh, why do I have so many things on the floor? Awkward enough to step into this booth. Alright, do we have audio? Can you hear me? Check. Hey, check, live. Are we live? Check, live. Hey, that's my weird voice. That's me. I'm gonna text my buddy off my laptop, see what's going on. Okay, so anyway, yeah, Fog was trash. My buddy Jim over at Sunshine Saloon Company over here in Ocean Beach, he gave me a recommendation for a movie. Also, we had a funny little circumstance earlier. I was just taking a break from work. I went into the bar to get wearing an all-white outfit, and he poured the soda, and then boom, splash, and it went all over the counter and on me. And I was like, ah! So that a couple days later, I went in, and I was like, hey, sorry I freaked out. And he's like, I'm sorry I spilled a drink, and he gave me a beer. So that was pretty cool. Shout out to him. And he gave me a recommendation for a movie that was called Land of Bad. And that was probably one of the best takes on a modern-day war endeavor that I've seen in recent years. It was a film about, like, a covert op to go and I believe they were going to neutralize this one target who ends up getting bombarded, or I don't know what the word is, but another hostile group comes in and they light it up. So then the Americans have to get involved and they make their presence known. So now guys who are coming in to get the first guy are fighting these other American guys, and it's mayhem and this one guy. Yeah, it's just absolute chaos. It's madness. And they show kind of like a lone wolf survival story. And I'm not going to spoil anything that happens in the film because it was really good. But yeah, it's a great take on warfare and certain, weaponries that are allowed nowadays that weren't available in Vietnam or World War II. I mean, I don't know what it's like to be a soldier out there, but it is terrifying. I saw a video on Instagram of I don't know if he was on the Russian side or the Ukrainian side, but he was in a trench, and you'd hear a drone, like, flying around and stuff, and he's there huddling, and a boom, and it's straight up Call of Duty Black Ops. Like, I remember doing that in Black Ops. Sorry, there's like a creature that lives in my roof, and it's very distracting. Different pest services to get it out, and apparently none of them have done the job. So, yeah, that was crazy. Land of Bad was fire. Highly recommended. No spoilers from me. 9 out of 10. What? Man, I hate when I write abbreviations, and I don't know what it means. This says OITWB, Crazy Lady? I don't know what in... What? OIT? That's... Oh, man, that's going to drive me insane. Was there a Crazy Lady? I don't remember the film enough now. Oh, man. Alright, well, anyway, 9 out of 10. I might have to rewatch it just to understand what that acronym means. That really bothers me. Let's see. Watched Hold Your Breath. Hold Your Breath is a new... Let's try that again. I watched Hold Your Breath. Hold Your Breath is a new period piece that takes place in the Dust Bowl. Probably in somewhere in the Midwest, about this mom. Her husband left off to go try money somewhere else. She has 2 kids at home, and the whole neighborhood's kind of affected by the growing dust storms, and it's becoming unhealthy. And then enter the story of the Gray Man, who's like a creature who you can smell or sniff up through the dust, and he makes in the night. So this mom gets, at first she hears a story from someone else, and then slowly finds herself becoming victim to like her own paranormal her own paranoid delusions of what's going on with her kids and with the situation at home and her husband. There's this crazy preacher guy. Film, it's fun. It really reminded me of my mom, like in certain regards, like her love for her children, to always put them first, her religious beliefs holding the fabric of her life together. Religion's always been a strong foundation for my mom, and I could see that in this character. Even they kind of look similar. It was really kind of eerie not eerie, but it is a horror movie, and I'm like, that was like my mom. So I felt like I was watching her in this situation. It's a really cool little storyline that definitely develops and just builds and builds and builds by the end. And there's this part, the very last scene, not like the last scene, but the second to last scene. That had me just like, I was feeling for this person, because I could understand that there were people that were terrified of what's going on and they had to do, and at the same time this other person wanted, truly in their best interest, they thought they were doing the right thing for their children, and to find themselves in a situation where they had no ability to know whether or not that really struck me. That struck a chord with me. That was really well done. I liked it a lot. I'm gonna have to adjust score here because I gave it a 7, but I'm gonna change that to an 8. I will give Hold Your Breath an 8 out of 10. It was fun. Yeah, go check it out if you like spooky movies. It's pretty fun. Dude, Where's My Car? Switch up. Yeah, we watched that one again. I love that movie. That'll never get old. I can quote a lot of that. That's one of my quotable films. The whole thing is just 100% quotes, top to bottom. Good times at Ridgemont High, fast even, and yeah, dude, that was fun. Sweet dude, and then like I could go on and on. I like that movie. Giving that an 8 too. Solid 8. Nice. Sultan. All right, then we got this movie, The Big Year, starring Steve Carell, Jack Black, and Owen Wilson, about birders. Birders! But no, they don't go around riding scooters and causing mayhem. They are trying to set a record for what's called the Big Year, and that's where birders in a calendar year see as many bird species as possible. There are a lot of birds, apparently. There's over 700 birds. I could spot a pigeon, a hawk, probably a bald eagle, a hummingbird. And that's pretty good. And a seagull. Not bad. Then again, they'd be like, yeah, but this is like the Seagrass Entalius. And you're like, shut up, man. That's a seagull. And then you feed it a french fry. And you're just like, nice. Ah, man, I love when a seagull just like, if you get them to come all the way up and take it out of your mouth. They're gross, but man, they're pretty cute, you know? It's just like, I don't know. I'd have a pet seagull if it wasn't just flying around and shitting on me. Then again, my dog over the floor, so. What is the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference? Oh yeah, that's how we do it, baby, here in the 619. We're rolling. We're 30 minutes here at the podcast 75. We're 25 episodes away from 100. Holy cow. That's insane. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for watching this crazy nonsense ramble talk that I am bringing to you live from my kitchen. Oh, man. Big shout out to Bill Burr for this platform. Man, I wish I was into sports sometimes. I'd have so much more to talk about. Apparently, like, something went down with the sports and the game. They, like, threw a goalpost in the lake. People take that stuff really seriously. I watched a guy just wear the other team's jersey at a home game or something, and people were pushing him and smacking him around and calling him names, and they all wanted to fight, and it's just... I think sport teams were invented to separate us as a nation. I think no matter what, even if at the end of the day, hand in hand, brother to brother, sister to sister, man to woman, people be like, this is the best day ever. I can't wait to live in peace. They're like, yeah, dude, go Broncos. And you're like, fuck you, go Packers. And then you start beating shit out of each other. And it's like, all right, that's why we do it. Because we need a reason to fight. I don't know, it's stupid. They've been doing games for a long time. Games are a huge part of why humans are what they are. We like to compete, and it's fun. Just the fact is, you're not even on the team. You're like a dude in the stands or at home. Stop getting so mad. Go work out and go be on the team and then lose and then throw a fit. You never see people on the team acting this way. There's a level of conduct in which you need to display yourself. So, I don't know, man. That's my take on the subject, righto. Aha. Oh, yeah. Sounds like I'm getting a colonoscopy. Okay. Man, we're getting pretty close to one of those. I'm years away from having a dude shove his finger up my butt in the name of my good health. That is daunting. Okay, well, that's real. Okay, let's keep moving on with the movies. We watched Bone Tomahawk. That was a huge switch on the big year. That was directly after. That was the auto-cued movie. I'm like, I'll watch it. Now, here we got a Western piece. A new little town called Bright Hope that basically has a dude. Now, the sheriff's deputy, a lady doctor, and a criminal are all kidnapped by savage natives. Or they aren't even really like people by the time you get to meet them, and like these prolific beasts that are all coded top to bottom. They have humanistic tendencies, but it's like, yeah, not really. They made them kind of spooky for this thing. So, anyway, they get kidnapped. Now you got like a 4-man gun brigade just going down the line. One of them's got a broken ankle because he fell off the roof doing shingles or whatever. It's pretty fun. You would not believe how the movie ends if you started off and you're like, look at this cripple. I don't want to give away spoilers, but yeah, you should check it out because it gets crazy. Anyway, you got like a slinging gun-ho rich guy. You got the cool collected sheriff, an old man, and then you got ankle boy. And it's a pretty fun little get-up all the way down. Movie starts off pretty cool, and then by the time you actually get into it, it's a real slow build. But dude, by the time you get like the later parts, it's gnarly. There's a part I can't talk about what happens without getting my entire platform removed. It's disgusting. So if you're into that kind of stuff, check it out. I forgot to say the Big Ear gets a 7 out of 10. Bone Tomahawk gets an 8 out of 10. I know I'm kind of out of order, a little fiasco right now. Final movie that we checked out, Willy's Wonderland. Now, if you've seen Five Nights at Freddy's, then you're pretty familiar with the concept. Animatronic robots coming to life. Here's the kick. It's Nicolas Cage. He does, and he kicks the shit out of these robots. I mean, smithereens, dude. No weapons. He's just pop, 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 pop. Straight metal. Doesn't care. He's punching that fluff to oblivion. And it is intense. Was it written well? Nope. Is it a really cool original concept? Nope. Is it Nicolas Cage playing pinball and beating the fuck out of Chuck E. Cheese robots? Yup. And so that is enough for me to stay. You got me. I'm hooked. I will watch it again. I don't care. And then you got a bunch of kids that just get murdered throughout the thing. They didn't have to. They never had to. They're all dumb. They all deserved what happened. And I hated the fact the person... I will spoil this because I don't care. The girl who lives is named Liv. Get out of here. Ugh. Blah. Nasty. I don't like that. That was gross. But it was fun. So Willy's gets a 7 from me. Wow. That was a lot of movies. We really chomped that up this week. We had a lot of sim action going on up in old Nogginville. Yeah, and that's pretty much a wrap for what's going on down here in Seabass Land. We made it to almost the 40-minute mark here on episode 75. I'm just a little bit pressed for time right now, so I'd love to stay longer, kick it, chat, hang out. If you would like to get in contact with me, like I said, email me, galacticseabass@gmail.com. If you have some advice you would like me to give you for some reason. If you have a crazy story you want to share, please submit it. I would love to see it with my eyeballs and then speak it with my mouth. We can share it with the world. We'll grow together. I realize I am half insane. I'm trying to work on my sobriety and I'm drinking a lot of coffee. Caffeine's a drug too, but this one's pretty decent. So he's like, I don't mind. That's one of those things. One day at a time, you know? I don't have any chips, but I got donated this cool Donald Trump coin, so it's close enough. You know what? We're going to hold on to that today. That's a rant to have. I like that. And then we're going to keep this JFK one, too. That was pretty fun. 1964. It's a fun year. All right. Well, now that we're done shoving coins in our pockets, I do appreciate you tuning in. This episode of the Galactic Seabass Podcast. My name is Sebastian. I know today's episode was kind of short, but I appreciate you tuning in. Please remember to try your best to be a good person, and even if you mess up, it's okay. You always have tomorrow to try again. Shows. I don't really have anything that crazy. I don't think at all. I just use that crazy as an excuse to give it an adjective. And with that being said, I do have a roast battle in December, and I have a roast battle in January, so I guess that's really all I have on the cards right now. Go check out some of my other videos I put out recently. I got some drum covers. I went to Kill Tony. Didn't get on Kill Tony, but it was fun. We had an adventure. And thank you for tuning in to this episode. Appreciate you very much. My name is Sebastian. My friends call me Seabass. I'm working on some music stuff if you want to check it out. That's James Blonde USA. Blonde is B-L-O-N-D. And then USA. That's on Spotify. If you put Seabass with cash symbols, that's me as a rapper on all the platforms and stuff. You can check that out. I should put some links, but I digress. That's one of those things. And yeah, if you would like to help support the podcast, that would really mean a lot. There's several options down below. Yeah, rock and roll. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. This has been episode 75, and we'll catch you hopefully on Thursday for episode 70 to the 76 gas station, which has basically supported this entire podcast in its entirety. Appreciate you guys very much. Shout out to Vero, who's the best employee ever. She works over there. She's my favorite person ever to run into at 4 in the morning when I need some gas and bag of Chips Ahoy. You know, it's a nice person. You gotta appreciate good people out there. You know, where I think there's some good in all of us. So let's take the time to reflect on you know something good that we did today. And here, appreciate you tuning in. I love you. My name's Sebastian. Friends call me Seabass. You're welcome to. I love my mom. I miss my dad. I love my brothers. You guys are great. Best of luck in all your endeavors. And that's a plane. So, final cheers. This has been a podcast, and I appreciate you for tuning to it. This has been fun. I appreciate you guys a lot. And with that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and just wrap up this bad boy. Go catch you next Thursday for episode 76. This has been an endeavor, and I wish you the best of luck in all your endeavors. Thanks for tuning in today, and we'll catch you again on the next one. See you on the flip side. And with that being said, end transmission. Really got to work on my escape thing.